here's part 2 of the rock and metal stack. Here's the Cult Sonic Temple in the background. Absolutely love this album. Been focusing a lot on cassettes lately. I don't know why, I haven't been picking many up. I've just been playing a lot of them. Now, Garner at the Rock and Roll Truck Stop. Man, Garner just picks up some amazing stuff. Does some killer digging and is building an amazing collection. There's a link to Garner's channel below. Get over there, get subscribed, get familiar, and get immersed in all things that are the Rock and Roll Truck Stop. You'll be glad you did. Garner went out digging. He had my wish list and a couple others as well, I think. He picked some stuff up. He got home, cleaned it up. Here's what I dig, here's what I don't. Here's some stuff you were looking for. Let's trade. And I know he made a video already of some stuff I sent along, and I've had most of this for at least a couple of weeks, but I've just been spinning through it, and now here's a chance to share it all. First was a little Budgie, and here's a nice copy of Bandolier. Budgie, I can't even describe it as anything other than just straight ahead 70s rock and roll. Just amazing, in your face, hard edged, and this is the stuff that just makes me happy to own vintage equipment, because it is the way to play this stuff. It's the way to get the best warm, heavy, smoking sound, smoke wafting out of your speakers, is with that kind of equipment and with these types of albums. So here's Budgie Bandolier. I think that's their 5th album, 1977 or so, 76 maybe. Here's one that came a couple after, 1, 2, skip a few. Here's Budgie's Impeccable. Budgie is just so tricky to find on vinyl. This is 1978. I know there's been a couple of lineup changes at this point. This one a little less heavy than Bandolier, but still a fantastic album and fantastic cover. Gotta keep the cat away from that one. There's another strong slab of 70s hard rock. Got Garner's postcard in there. Moxie's fantastic, man. This is from 1977. So many amazing people started in Moxie and just migrated into different places. Just an amazing, amazing 70s hard rock record. Definitely stuff you have to check out. That's my 3rd Moxie album, so I think I'm only missing one. Here's a band I hadn't heard of. Actually, the next couple were. So it was one of those, yeah, we're not into them for too much. I'll grab them from you and we'll roll the dice on them. This is Tattoo. Again, just straightforward 70s hard rock. One I still need to listen to a few more times to really absorb, but I definitely dig it. And stuff like this, for me, answers the question, why vinyl? You buy records? Yes, I buy records, because go find this on CD. No way. Go trip over this on CD at Best Buy when you're fumbling through all the 20th century collection CDs. You won't. So this is why vinyl. This is why I dig in the bins. This is why I go to record shows, because you will turn over obscure gems like this and like this. Here's Night City. Anybody recognize that guy? That's Ray Manzarek from The Doors. So after The Doors break up, here's a band straight out of LA, and man, they sound like it. And this is 1977 on 20th Century Fox. It's just a snapshot in time. It's what Ray Manzarek was doing at the time. It rocks hard in a lot of spots, and Ray Manzarek and his organs and his keyboards come shining through. Believe me, make no mistake, Ray Manzarek is here. And he's on this record. It was excellent stuff. It's just an obscure gem, and it's one that you just won't find. So it's why vinyl, and Garner was very smart to pick that up. Knew I'd be interested in it for sure. Here's a couple more hole fillers, and in trading is just a great way to do just that. Just plug those holes. Here's Legs Diamond, Firepower. I have a couple other Legs Diamond albums. This is from 78, and they're just a fantastic 70s hard rock band. There's nothing more to say than that. Definitely worth checking out. Here's another copy of Blood Rock 3. I had this already. This one is a bit of an upgrade from mine, so that's one that I may be open to trading to somebody for something. We'll see. Shoot me a PM. Blood Rock 3, just another 70s hard rock album. You know, there's not much more to say other than that. If you dig 70s hard rock, check some of these bands out. Along with Trapeze. This is self-titled, as was their first album. So just to confuse people, this is from 75. No more Glenn Hughes at this point, like there was back in their Medusa days, which is an excellent album I'm still looking for on vinyl. But just another real solid, slightly funky at times, hard rock album. Skip a decade, and you've got Mason Ruffner with Gypsy Blood. I had no idea who Mason Ruffner is. I just knew that he offered it up, and You know, when you have a knowledge like Garner's, when you offer something up and says an album is a sleeper and you need to hear it, you need to hear it. So I rolled the dice on it, and I'm glad I did. I would say Dylan-esque, rockabilly, and rock and roll, all rolled into one from the late 80s. And this is a killer album. Mason Ruffner's Gypsy Blood. Check out some sound clips on Amazon. Check it out on YouTube. Just don't let it slip by. And here's a handful of things I've picked up in the bins, online, yada, 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 whole fillers over the last 6 weeks or so. Here's Nugent and the Amboy Dukes, Call of the Wild. Man, I love this album. It took a long time to lock down a gorgeous copy. And that's what this is. It's near mint. It's an original from '74, and it was worth the wait. Great album. Another Amboy Dukes one. I'm actually still missing the first couple, but I really don't have a huge interest in them because they're kind of just psychedelic weirdness. But staying right in the Detroit Motor City rock mode, and I've definitely been stuck there. Here's Survival of the Fittest. This is Ted and the Amboy Dukes live, and this is just borderline guitar virtuoso at times. Shades of what would come with Double Live Gonzo years later. This is a fantastic album. Both of those from the same seller, both very reasonably priced, and both in gorgeous condition. Speaking of long waiting to find a really nice copy, here's Queen's debut album. This replaces my really messed up copy. And this seems to be one of those albums that I see Queen 2 everywhere, but I never see Queen 1. Never. And it could just be where I live, but this was, except for a little bit of ring wear on the bottom and the top, near mint vinyl, as gorgeous as I've ever seen, and it was time. That's the copy. Enough with the waiting. This is the one and the last. Starting off with Keep Yourself Alive and introducing Queen to the world. What more do you need? Here's a little bit of, we'll call it metal. Here's Heaven, and I had found Heaven's Bent a few months ago, and here's Where Angels Fear to Tread. I read somewhere that Heaven would be, if Deep Purple and AC/DC got together, had rock and roll sex and made a baby, Heaven is what would have come out. I think that's pretty fair and accurate, and I also think they are from Australia, if I'm not mistaken, so right up there in Dark Side of the Moon's neck of the woods. How's it going, David? Thank you, David, for Heaven. Great band. Let's see, there's 3 left here. First is Spooky Tooth's Spooky 2. I'm a huge Spooky Tooth fan. Just a great late 60s, early 70s British hard rock. This is one I didn't have. I think I have 4 others. But Spooky 2 was just an amazing album. Better By You, Better Than Me is on this. And Judas Priest covers that live a lot. Fantastic track. This whole album, just amazing. Gary Wright, fantastic stuff. Definitely worth checking out. That's another one that it took a long time to find in the wild. And the last 2 are Rush albums. Here's another copy of Power Windows. Not that I needed it. I think this is copy number 3. But what I never find is it in the shrink with the hype sticker on it. So it was definitely worth the pickup just on the back of that alone. And another one I never find in the wild in really nice shape, so I had to pick it up. This is 2112. We're all familiar with it. This is another album I already have. But like I said, when you find 2112 in the wild and it's in great shape, you really better leave the store with it because it just doesn't turn up that way often. It's an original gatefold press, Mercury Skyline label, just in absolutely beautiful condition. And this is a master disc. Digging that dead wax. I see GK. So Gilbert Kong master disc. It sounds absolutely brilliant. I am so happy I grabbed this. I know I have a later 80s reissue of this. It's on the Black Mercury label. And I have an earlier master disc pressing of this as well. That's in maybe a hair off the condition that this one was in. So it's just one of those, you know, you grab Rush when you see Rush, and you don't see 2112 in great shape, so you got to snap it up. And that is it for the Rock and Metal Stack. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Another Honky Tonkin' update coming soon. Just waiting for a couple more things in the mail, and we'll go ahead and put that together. You guys take care. It's good seeing you. Thanks for watching. Later.